This video's top comment slot goes out to Balbunski Laripme, commenting on how if Raditz went Super Saiyan, it would look like Super Saiyan 3. Which actually made me think about what would happen if Raditz did go Super Saiyan 3. And the only thing I can picture is the length of Gon's transformation hair. Just like 20 feet tall Super Saiyan hair. Today's video is on my predictions of how the Void Century is going to be explored once we finally get to it in the story. Now, I have to warn you, this will be speaking on more recent developments in the story, some not yet even in the anime, so fair spoiler warning here. Ichiro Oda specifically designed the Toki Toki no Mi to be unable to go back in time, and only move forward to avoid an obvious plot hole trap, as in stories when time travel is introduced, it often creates parallel universes disconnected from the one we have seen all along. However, being aware of this trap also makes it so that there's nothing stating a fruit with reverse time travel capabilities could not be introduced at some point. Ways to go about this would be to make it a one-time use, potentially with a high cost, similar to Trafalgar's Appi Appi no Mi immortality procedure. Or to make a rule for the fruit that if the timeline is at threat of being altered, it will automatically send the user back to the present. Maybe this is one of the fruits that has the shortest life expectancies, since it is so easy to alter the past, which would make a grave challenge for the Straw Hats if they ever had to utilize such a ability. These stipulations, especially if being applied to a group of people such as the Straw Hat Pirates, would take exceptional leadership skills from someone the Straw Hats respect enough to follow, and to be able to fathom the responsibility that it would take to make sure they learn what they need to before one of them screws up and they all get permanently sent back to the present. This role would be a perfect fit for Vivi, and for a number of reasons. Aside from the obvious reason of Vivi having a relation to Im, there were other subtle hints I found when thinking about this, and to get that we have to look at her entire character arc from Reverse Mountain to the end of Alabasta. The entire arc was themed around leadership and racing against time. That, and smaller hints that I admit may be a stretch, such as the Peacock Slashers being similar to the pendulum of a clock, almost like Django, the sand theme of her island potentially representing the sands of time, and even down to the final location of the bomb, potentially the peak of Vivi's arc here, being located in a clock tower. The dynamic that Vivi and Luffy have as joint leaders, Luffy's recklessness, and the essential rule of changing the timeline will permanently send you back, would lead to an arc with a good level of suspense, constantly wondering if Luffy's crackhead tendencies will ruin the mission. This arc could even end on something like Luffy punching Im during the events of the Void Century, and that being the moment that sends them back, leading for a perfect rematch in the present day, especially if it did come at the cost of the user's life, aka Vivi. This would also explain Im's hatred for Luffy despite seemingly never meeting him. This could also neatly tie a lot of other things together, such as why Luffy, dancing just like the sun god during Skypiea, would make sense if Luffy himself was the person of legend. This would also mirror the more modern, currently manga-only arc of Kuma's backstory, just like Kuma symbolizes Nika in the world government slave trade, bringing hope and joy to the morally destroyed slaves. Luffy could also come out of nowhere in the Void Century, when the world government had gotten the world under its thumb and making everyone dance and have hope once again. Now, I understand nobody can cook like Oda, and I will most likely be wrong in this prediction. However, it was fun coming up with this little theory, and we should always strive to have fun with our creations. Your assignment today is to post a personal theory you have for a story you are involved with currently. It doesn't have to be One Piece themed either, so get creative. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this theory and what you have for theories on your own as well.